Okay, so we loaded up some of that code. Hopefully I can edit this video so that it works for us, but we'll see how it comes out on the back end. So I went in and did this step again. We're going to put this in one more time. And we'll go to the studio. We're going to upload some images from our thing. I did get to thinking through the editing process here of the first video. We might actually be able to just put a input for the user to drop their listing right from Airbnb in there and have it pull some information. We'll play with that maybe in a third video on this one. So okay, you can see we've got our videos here. I'm going to do some asset generation to see if we get anything different, anything better. It looks like it's pulling the same images. I think when we go to AI Studio, we're going to get a better result there. So I'm not going to worry about that a whole lot. I'm going to see what this generates, and boom, here we go. So now, okay, so something weird happened there where it's like, huh. Okay. So somehow here, I'm going to do it just a general, actually, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say in the art department, comma, we need to generate copy for the guide book. And let's see. All right, I went ahead and I got some, there's a little bit of insight here from how we built it from Claude. And then I'm going to say, okay, so you can see what I typed there, but basically I want it to go ahead and do the same sort of functionality that this did to try and create some images. I want it to create some copy, and that will hopefully give us a better result on the other end. So you can see how I'm trying to work through these. Most people will get frustrated and they'll just stop, and I used to do that too. So the best way to approach these situations now is to just take, how do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time. So you start making minor improvements, adjustments to see if you can get the model to, your app to work better for you. So we're going to see if this helps. I don't know if it will or not. I think we'll probably see a big improvement, and I don't know as though we'll get to it in this video, probably in the next video, but we'll move this, as I mentioned, to Google AI Studio. And in doing so, I think we'll have a little bit more capability, a little more horsepower under the hood. But until then, we're starting to reach peak internet usage time here. And so we're seeing a little bit of slowdown. Okay, it looks like it's going to it's going to try and handle this. It looks like it's going to pull it into the pages, and that's good. And then, so if it's capable of doing that a little bit better, then we'll go to the next screen and we'll tweak the output there. We'll start working with what it looks like. I also got to thinking, Ravi has done a couple of videos on how to push things through using N8N and ending up using Gamma to create slide decks, PDFs. And so Gamma is a great tool, and we might actually be able to take this in theory, and if it's really a worthwhile build, we could probably add an N8N feature that would then push it to Gamma to create that end result. And then from Gamma, I'm not sure if there's an export feature that would be suitable for printing or not. We would have to look into that, but that might be an option for additional. And this thing is really thinking, so I'm going to pause. Okay, and as you can see, we were able to get this additional piece here. So we've got that now. Now let's see if this changes anything. And apparently it's supposed to be writing copy in the background, but okay. So the output is still not great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak that just a little bit here. Okay, so I put a not a super long prompt in there, but so I'm going to start tweaking with this output. And what I'm asking it to do right now is address a couple things. I'm noticing a lot of white and then titles, so I want it to do that. And then I want it to pull from the previous page, right? So the details and the details and the location, right? And so and then it should be pulling this too. And I didn't put that in there specifically, but this should also be pulled in. So I'm doing that, and then I really want the copy that it's pulling from there. I want it to have a specific place for it to go. So that this is like a template. So don't create a one-off, create one that we can repeat every single time. So I added that in there. And then I want it to be more storytelling. So not just like, boom, Wi-Fi is here's the password. I want it to be like, look, you're coming here to relax and enjoy. So sort of tell a story like a hotel brand might. So we'll see if I get that result with this, pretty basic prompt here, but all right, we're midstream. That came back here. And so I'm generating some assets. It looks like I got a deeper set of assets. It looks like they're getting closer without me even asking for it to do some coloring match and etc. So let's go into the details here. I'm going to put treehouse just so that we can see what goes on. And then it said that it was going to rework all this. So as you can see, all right, this is already better. This is better. Arrival. Okay, so this is good, except it doesn't look. I wonder if we did this in landscape, if this would look a little better. Okay, we're getting there. I think we're going to try doing a couple things in the build. And so I'm going to type this out and we'll see what happens. Okay. So I've created this prompt. I want to just tweak the output a little. I'm going to change the format from vertical to horizontal. We'll see if that fixes anything. And then I told it that I want the flow to be magazine-like, which means instead of just a picture and then some text and then another picture, I want it to be like a picture with some text and then, a page of just a picture. And then, so we'll see if it can pick up on that. And then, I'm just asking it to take a look at what I asked for and then enhance this for me. So we'll run that. Unfortunately, every time I run this, it brings us back to the first page, and I have to re-input all the information. So that too is that's just a function of where I think a function of where we're building this. So because there's no formal back end, everything is being stored inside of the app, and so as soon as you reset the app, it thinks it's brand new. And so when we move it out of Gemini, that will get fixed. I'm not too concerned about it right now. It's a vibe coding new it's a vibe coding aggravation, if you will, that as you're building, you have to just keep reprompting sometimes the same thing. So but once you get used to it, it's good. So this thing is still thinking here. I'm hoping that these little edit suggestions will fix the problem. I am noticing and looking at this right now that the top has an edit feature on it. So I did not play with that. The top right here on the thing. So we'll play with that next time. All right, I put in all the information again, and we're going to see, okay. So this looks good. I'd want to get rid of that. I wonder if I can do that. Oh, yeah, baby. All right. Now we're cooking with some bacon grease, baby. Okay, not sure what this is. Can I make that smaller? No. Edit text. No. Okay. Well, okay. So can we move it? No. Okay. That's okay. This is getting better already. Okay. And so this looks weird, and we're having some problems here still. But we're getting there. Okay. So as you can see, we're 40 minutes, 50 minutes of recorded time probably, and we're almost at we're getting there. I think some of these slide details I think we can fix up in Google Studios. So I think we'll play with a couple of more features before we finish up this part of the build. And so I think I'm going to ask it if okay, we'll see if that works. Okay, so it went ahead and put this there. So I went ahead and dropped one of my listings in there to see if it works. So Rincon, and then me, and then we'll add these images again. I have not added the color matching. It didn't let me upload all those. How come? Is there a reason? Huh. What am I doing wrong? Houston. Okay. There we go. Generate. We're going to get the same ones. That's my expectation. Boom. All the same ones. We'll delete the ones we don't like. The ones that are not where we are. The ones with other people's houses. This one could be anywhere. And this looks like not Puerto Rico. This doesn't really either, but that's okay for today, for this second. So we'll do the details just to make sure that this shows up. And see how quickly this is running now? So we can edit this again. This still works. So we're going to edit that out. And then, yeah, it would be cool if we could do color and whatever. But once again, this is doing the same. I don't know how much information it actually pulled from the listing. Let's figure that out. I'm going to type a prompt up here real quick. All right, another relatively lengthy prompt here. So I'm right now asking Gemini to sort of take a look at how it's computing what I'm asking it to do to see if we can refine the output a little better. So what I did is asked it, I told it, I need to know how your brain's working. And then I gave it a description of the user process and then what I want this thing to do for me. So pull the information from the URL, the description, the city location, the host name, and then the images. When you get the images, create prompts for lifestyle images and then use those prompts to create the images. And then I changed it to 10. I mean, I guess I could have just read you this, but so I'm going to run this, and this will take a couple of minutes to update this. And once it does, we'll test it again and see if we're getting closer to the end result here, where it's actually a usable product. It's what we would call an MVP. So minimal viable product is what that means. So all the functions are working and they work well. There's not a ton of bells and whistles, but the actual product itself, this guest book builder, works. That's our MVP. That's what I'm shooting for, and I'm hoping to get it done in about 6 minutes. Okay, so I've sort of fast forwarded here, got the description URL pasted in, and now I've noticed that this has changed a little, and now there is it's called the brain now, so it changed my thing a little. Oh, and now I've got an error, so we may have to start this one all over again here. That was unfortunate, but okay, we're starting to get a few errors, which is typical in the vibe coding world. And so I brought us to this point, and I didn't upload any pictures, and I just hit the generate brief, and it populated the same pictures again for the most part. I'm still getting a details error. Oh, not this time. Okay. So that looks like it might be working. So let's do Puntas Treehouse and 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do this. And I noticed the result is getting better. But there's no way to go to the next. I can't see anything. So we lost the visual workspace on the left, and then but what we did gain is the ability to move these around, which is cool, but we can't change the color yet, so that's okay too. We can move this around, so that's kind of cool, but no way to move better features on the canvas part here, but we've still got some errors on the back here. I was hoping to do this in about 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can clean up this output just a little to get us back to where we were, and then we'll run it one more time to see if we have something that's workable, and we might call it good. And we might do video 3 where we take the code from here and we move it into um, another tool that we could use to continue the build, make it better, etc. So let me try and clean up the output just a little bit, and we'll see what happens. And so I went ahead and put this guy in right here. I mentioned that I like the new editing feature, but I'm concerned that the pictures being generated they're just pulling from some seed file somewhere. So I want to see if it can correct that. It may not be able to do that until I move it out of here once again and into a place that has an API. And maybe this does. I'm not sure. But and then I'm trying to fix this edit page here. So I want to be able to scroll, and I gave it a reference. Like I want the output to be in a platform that looks like Canva, which is sort of where we were in the beginning. So it says, once we enter studio mode, the interface should, yeah. So I think if we were to launch this, we should be good. And then it's fixing the navigation, and then okay. Okay, so I've gone ahead and loaded in to get us back to this point. I'm going to hit generate brief to see if anything changed. So I did put in the URL, the description, Rincon, Aaron, sunscreen, baby. And so this feature is clearly not working still. And it's because it's not hooked to the API. And now we can't delete the, so I'm going to make notes here. We need to okay. Let's see if it says it's doing it, but we're getting the same result. So I think maybe once we hook this to an API, we'll be in good shape. Let's see if this is fixed at all. Let's try and fix the errors real quick here. All right, I do believe we are getting probably close enough. So I've gone ahead and loaded us back up to the same point. I'm going to generate. I don't like this, but you can see this is a much better layout to work with. So now we just got to fix the output a little bit, and we should be good to go. I wonder if we go here. Oh, look at this. And now we can change the color. Maybe it doesn't work, but it will. So we're getting there. All right. So we'll pick up where we are at in the next video. We'll move it over into Google AI Studio. But until then, I'd like to just introduce you to a couple of things that Ravi and I have been working on over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the first of which is our school, Code to Close. We're currently on the back end building out some courses, but there are a couple of the classroom tiles that are available right now. The investor toolkit, the initialization, which gets your LLM ready to start working for you, and then a brief go high level 3-part beginner course. In addition, Ravi and I have we've built our website. It's code2close.online, so code2close.online. And this will just be a great place for you to come to. We have intentions of continually adding to this library of what we're calling blueprints. And so these will just be sort of easy builds that you'll be able to download and build for yourself and try inside of your own business. And then just a quick shout out to Ravi's YouTube channel. He's working really hard trying to get some of this stuff out there to the whole world. And likewise, I'm doing the same. And we would love for you to join us on any one of those things. So until the next one, thanks so much. We'll talk soon.